Welcome to the Parenting in the Thick of It channel. I'm your host, Louise Clark, your parenting partner, parent coach, and mindfulness coach. Today on the show, I'm going to be discussing mindfulness. It plays a huge part in my life, and I want to explain it to you and help you perhaps understand how you could bring some of this into your life as a parent, and the changes and positive experiences that you will feel as a result of it will be huge. They certainly were for me, and I'd like to share it with you. So meditation and mindfulness are kind of buzzwords right now, and some of the larger organizations in the world are taking it really seriously, and so they should be, because the benefits of mindfulness are huge and they extend way beyond what we just think they might be. I've noticed I sleep better, my health is better, my emotional control is better. There's just so many benefits that it brings me, and I enjoy life more because I'm more aware of things in the present moment than I ever was before. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is when you watch the unfolding of each moment, moment by moment, with an open mind, a curious mind, with kindness and compassion, and no judgment. So each moment is a new moment, and you're observing the moment, the next moment, and so on and so forth. And when you can do this, you stay in the moment and you become more focused on what you're actually doing in the moment. The problem is, for 54% of our time, we are not actually, our minds are not in the moment with us. That's unbelievable. 54, so half of our lives, we are not where our minds are. So just think about that. We're trying to be connected and present with our children, when for 50% of the time, our minds aren't where we are. That blew my mind when I heard that. All the more reason to practice some mindfulness so you can be present and really with your kids when you're with them, and connect to them and being able to connect to their deepest needs. How are we ever going to give our kids what they need if we're not in the moment with them? So I did an episode on the channel called Taming Your Reactivity, and mindfulness and this play into each other quite nicely, because you have to be aware of where you are in the moment and what you're feeling in the moment, whether you're triggered in the moment. So if you're not present, you won't even notice that you might be becoming triggered and more likely to become reactive. So we need to come back to basics here and mind our minds and be mindful in the moment. So imagine your toddler is having an Oscar-winning performance in the supermarket. They're on the floor, they're screaming, they want the Smarties. They got Smarties last time, but you're not going to give them Smarties this time. And you are beside yourself. Very quickly, your mind will start running. You will be worried about what other people are thinking of you. They're going to be worried about what they think of your child. So your mind is not where you are. So those thoughts trigger fears, and those fears trigger your reaction. And then you get caught in the dance with your child who's on the floor. Versus being mindful in the moment, saying, oh, my child's on the floor in the supermarket. I better just sit and watch this until the moment passes. And you witness it and observe it with no judgment. She's having a meltdown. She's having a hard time. So for you to go in and react in the moment is not going to help. You're just going to fuel her fire and she'll fuel yours. And before you know it, you'll be in a tangled mess. So observe her, witness it, be curious. I wonder why. Well, she wants the Smarties. I gave her the Smarties last time, but I'm not going to give her the Smarties this time. You have a choice. You can fight about it and join her on the floor, or you can work your way through it. And working your way through it doesn't necessarily mean giving her the Smarties, but you have to be mindful of the moment. You're in it. It is what it is. You can't change it. She's on the floor. She wants the Smarties. You're with her. What can you do? How can you manage the moment in a constructive way rather than a destructive way. The only way you'll do it is if you are in the moment with her, with compassion and curiosity, and not the judgment and the fear. So, huge piece of being mindful. We have to be so aware of where our minds are. Because when our minds wander, we become lost in thought. Our thoughts are not real, but yet we believe them. And then those thoughts influence us in the present moment. So if we have to be able to notice when we're thinking about other things that are superfluous to the moment that we're in right now, so we can stay in the moment and enjoy the moment or manage the moment in whatever way we have to. So being mindful, I'll repeat once again, is observing the unfolding of each moment, moment by moment, with an open mind, curiosity, no judgment, and as much kindness as you can bring to that moment. There's lots of ways to be mindful. You can be mindful eating. So when you're eating something, really focus on the food. Focus on what you're tasting, the texture, the smell. So you can use your senses to become mindful and bring yourself back into the present moment. So when you're outside, really notice the smells in the air. Notice the ground under your feet. You know, in the autumn, it might be you're walking on crunchy leaves, or you might be walking on a pebbly path. Hear the crunch. Notice the smells. Use your senses to bring you into the present moment. It's an amazing place to be. And when you're present, you become more grateful of the smaller things. So, you know, how I bring myself back to the present moment, say in the evening, I'm tired, there's dishes in the sink and I have to wash the dishes. Rather than my mind griping about, oh my goodness, I wish I was in bed, now I've got the dishes to do, I notice my mind's gone that way, and I bring it back to the present moment and go, you know what, I have to do these dishes. It is what it is. Why am I going to get upset about it? I'm going to appreciate it. So I notice the sensation of the water on my hands, the smell of the soap, really focusing on the dishes when I'm doing the dishes. And really focusing on the moment when you're in the moment. It's a really powerful place to be and an amazing place to experience life and just being able to slow down and being grateful for the smaller things. So you have to be so aware of where your mind is. Now, I mentioned meditation, and meditation is a slightly different thing. Meditation is a way in which we can strengthen our awareness so we become more aware of where our mind is, so we can become more present in the moment. And there's ways of meditating you can do, lots of different ways of meditating. I meditate every morning and every night, and I use my breath to bring me back to the present moment. So when you've got your eyes shut and you're quiet, and you're sitting anywhere. I don't have a corner and a mat and candles and make it all set something up. I meditate wherever I am when I feel like it. Then I don't need anything other than me and my breath. I could stand, I can sit on a log. If I'm out for a walk, I can sit on the sofa, I can lie in bed. Wherever I am, I can do it. So the less things you need to be able to start, I think the better, because we're busy enough. We don't have to be creating little spaces, and we might want to meditate, but we're not in our space. So just learn to do it anywhere and use your breath to bring you back to the present moment. When you close your eyes and you sit still, you become very aware of where your mind actually is. You know, when I'm running around during the day, I'm less aware of where my mind is, because there's all the distractions that I'm seeing that cause me to think, that cause me to go to my to-do list or whatever it is I might be doing. But when I take the opportunity to sit and be still, it's fascinating to me to observe my mind. When I observe my mind, I can learn to mind my mind. And if I can start training my mind and strengthening my awareness for when my mind goes off and I'm thinking, I can bring my mind back to my breath and come back to that neutral space. Now, I'm not saying thinking's bad. Thinking's amazing. We have, I don't know how many thoughts every minute. They're awesome. But sometimes we need to actually be where we are and not where our thoughts are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record another episode and teach you, if you're game for it, how to meditate and how to use your breath as an amazing tool to bring your awareness to your breath, to your thoughts and where they take you, so you can train that muscle to bring yourself back to the present moment, and using your breath to do that. So I'm going to do that. So if you hear this, look for the next episode on meditation. I'll keep it short and sweet, and you can use it for to help guide you in a meditation practice if you're new to meditation. If you're not new to it, you'll have your practice, you'll be established, you can tune in if you'd like. But mindfulness and meditation kind of play into each other. I believe you can't be mindful unless you strengthen your awareness of your mind muscle, so that it keeps you in the moment and you stay present and you notice when your thoughts take you out of the present moment. So I love the subject of mindfulness. I love my meditation practice. It's done so much for me, and I hope that by sharing this, I might inspire you to perhaps take a plunge into the world of mindfulness and maybe even start a meditation practice. You can find me on my website, yourparentingpartner.com. I have a series of blog posts on mindfulness and using your breath in a meditation practice. So if you like reading, tap into those. In the category on the sidebar on my blog page, you'll see mindfulness, and there's a few blog posts in there on exactly what I'm talking about today. If you like to listen to things, you can find me on iTunes, the Parenting in the Thick of It show. I share lots of stories and lots of advice and tips and things to help you on your parenting journey. I also have a Facebook group and a parent coaching group on Facebook called the Conscious Parent Community. So happy you've joined me here today. I hope that it's helped, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.